a NASCAR history buff. And he had his show back in the day where they used to highlight famous races from back in the day. And now he is going to be featured in this NASCAR The Rise of American Speed special happening on CMT, a special 3-part event. And it starts this Sunday night on CMT, so definitely go and check that out. All right, let's get to the race preview for Kansas. And I wish I had better news, but I don't. Dale Jr. Just finished qualifying. Did not make it out of round 2, and will be starting 22nd on Saturday night for Kansas Speedway. He's not alone back there. You've got Tony Stewart in 16th, Kyle Larson 18th, Jimmy Johnson qualified 15th, and I think Kevin Harvick qualified worse than that. They didn't unload fast at the track. The practices did not go well. He was not in the top 20 when it came to the fastest 10 consecutive lap averages, and they never really put up a good lap on the speed charts. I kind of expected them to qualify a little bit better than they did, but the car this week just doesn't look like it has the speed in it. I'm waiting to see if they do an interview, a post-qualifying interview with Dale Earnhardt Jr. After making his qualifying run. And it doesn't look like they're going to be doing an interview with Dale Jr. He hasn't been tweeting today either. So it's really tough to actually go and get a gauge from the driver himself to find out how he's feeling about the car, because he hasn't made a single comment this weekend yet in regards to how the car's been doing in practice. So this is a little bit tough. I think it's clear they're in the Axalta 88 car this weekend, so running a select number of races in the red, orange, and yellow paint scheme. I think they call it Solar Flare. I think that was the nickname that stuck with it. I like Big Stick myself, but that's just me because I like big sticks. So it's a little tough to do a prediction on the race this weekend just because there's not a lot of speed in the car. I've been looking at some of the other drivers that historically Dale Jr. does better than, and so you can start eliminating drivers above him, certainly on the speed charts and certainly in qualifying. They were making gains in qualifying. I mean, the car was worse than what it actually was showing in final practice. So, I think conservatively I'm going to go top 10, and maybe that is a bit of a gamble, but I feel somewhat confident simply because we've been in this position a couple times this year, and the car is run much better on race day. We had a circumstance just a few races ago. As a matter of fact, let me pull the schedule up and look back. There was one in particular. In Texas. In Texas, they ended up making huge gains on the car. And I was shocked once they got on the track. So for whatever reason, they're behind. For whatever reason right now, they just are not. They're lacking the speed in the car in the practices and in qualifying. So I guess the positive outlook on this is, maybe moving forward into the summer where traditionally Dale Jr. has dropped off, maybe they'll hit their peak moving forward. I'm looking for a silver lining. It's tough when I want to do the podcast and I want to be able to provide you with some good news, but I'm just being honest. The car hasn't had any speed since they unloaded, and I don't feel comfortable providing a prediction of anything better than a top 10 finish. And I'm only doing that based off of what's happened in past races. I think Auto Club Speedway was another one where the car was really fast, and if we hadn't been caught up in getting the car damaged with Kurt Busch, I think we would have ended up posting a much better finish than we did. But it's clear that the team is off, and they're going to have to do something to get it back on track. So I'm going to go with the top 10, and that's probably putting out there, but I'm trying to remain optimistic. I think anything other than that is bonus based off of how poorly qualifying and practice has gone. The one other good news is that he's starting 22nd, and we can watch him drive up from 22nd up into up to the front, right? So here's hoping that when the lights go down at Kansas, the car will be a heck of a lot faster. It'll look good under the lights. It's a really nice paint scheme. Again, it's nice to see Dale Jr. back in a red car after being a fan of the Budweiser number 8 car for so many years. And let's hope that I'm wrong, like I was last week. I was good on my predictions, sort of. No, I really haven't been that good on my predictions this year. I was much better last year. But I have faith in the 88, and I think you can too. Greg Ives is a really smart crew chief. A lot of guys have him on their list of crew chiefs to watch out for in the future. And let's remember, they're only in their second year together. And it took, Dale Jr., 2 years to gel with Greg Ives. Hopefully they'll figure out what the problem is. And, unloading off the truck slow gives them an opportunity to search out what it is and maybe find something that they haven't done before. So there you go. Top 10 finish for Dale Jr. That's what I'm predicting for Saturday night's race. Thank you, as always, for checking out the podcast. If you'd like to drop me an email, talkshownerd@gmail.com. Talkshownerd@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter @JohnJustice, JON, @JohnJustice. Find me on Facebook. Go to mynerdworld.com if you've missed any of the previous podcasts and you want to go and check them out. Tell your friends, tell your fellow NASCAR friends. And if you see me post up on Twitter, give me a retweet. I'd really appreciate it. I am currently working on, hopefully, getting the podcast out to more people. I'm talking with, I won't give you details right now, but I'm currently really hoping to get some promotion of the podcast and get it out to more people simply because I enjoy doing it, and I think the feedback that I've heard, people enjoy listening to it, and I want to get it out to as many Dale Jr. Fans as I possibly can. So if you see it pop up, feel free to share it, email it to people. I'd really do appreciate it. It's a labor of love for me just because I'm a massive Dale Earnhardt Jr. fan. So let's hope I'm better. Let's hope my prediction's better than a top 10 finish. And he puts that red number 88 in victory lane. Until next week, enjoy the Saturday night race at Kansas. And as always, go Junior.
My Nerd World.
And finally, one of the most unusual pre-race prayers you will ever hear.
Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight for all your blessings. You said in all things give thanks. So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you've brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the RO7 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires to bring performance and power to the track. Boogity, boogity, boogity. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen. Boogity, 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 amen. Boogity, 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 amen. Bless the drivers and use them tonight. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife. Boogity, boogity, boogity.
My Nerd World.